Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the open live session I'm conducting today. Today's topic will be Neurographic language and alphabet. Please give me 2 minutes as I go live on Facebook and on Instagram. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the live session on the Neurographica method. Please give me 2 minutes as I'm making sure that all my platforms are working well, as I am going live on Facebook and Instagram. Welcome, welcome, Instagram. Welcome, Facebook. I'm going live. I'm making a live session for you today as I'm going to talk about the Neurographica method. And specifically, we will be discussing the Neurographica method, language, and alphabet. Let's talk about Neurographica as a language. And as a language, of course, it's supposed to have its own alphabet. Okay. Welcome. Here, I'm going to stop my sharing. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the open live session led by me. My name is Lana Shalom. I'm a certified Neurographica instructor and coach. I have been practicing Neurographica since 2017. I have been a certified instructor and coach since 2018. I lead an array of courses and workshops, and I do everything. I explain everything and can give you all the answers, and well, at least I try, into the method of Neurographica. What is it? How is it? Why is it? Why does it work? How does it work? And of course, what is the Neurographica method? Today, I would like to present to you the Neurographica method from a point of view that it's a language. The Neurographica method is a language of lines and shapes. Think about it. It's a very simple language. It's a language that our subconscious understands. Toward the end of this week, either on Friday or next week on Monday, I will be conducting an open live session where I will actually present to you the integration of the pyramid of consciousness, the interesting psychological tool, the psychological pyramid, upon which the method of Neurographic is based, and I will show you how it integrates with the 8 steps of the algorithm. The 8 steps of the algorithm is the way we draw Neurographic. Somebody actually asked me on my YouTube channel where I explained what the 8 steps of the algorithm is. I made a video last, I believe, Thursday. It's on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Lana Shalom, the same as my profile name. Welcome to find it. I don't think anybody impersonated me yet, so you will be able to find that channel and the second from the last video will be the video on the 8 steps of the algorithm. And somebody made a comment asking, can you explain the difference? What are the principles of Neurographica? What are the 8 steps of the algorithm? What do they all mean? Like, what's the difference? So I said, I will explain it to you in the next live session. Since we're talking today about the language of the Neurographica method, let's talk about what are the difference between the concepts of the 10 principles and the 8 steps of the algorithm. So the 8 steps of the algorithm are the steps, the sequence of steps of how you can draw the Neurographica drawing. What exactly constitutes the Neurographica drawing? And it's very important to understand this because there are a lot of drawings out there where people coined it as a Neurographica drawing, but it's not, it's neuro art. Okay, I'm going to make a note that I should make a separate video where I explain the difference. I will prepare presentations to show you the difference between neuro art and Neurographica drawing. Now, it's important to understand that the Neurographica drawing needs to follow a certain sequence of steps. That's why it's called the algorithm. One of my students asked me, Lana, why? She's a specialist, so of course she tends to talk about Neurographica to her students and to her clients. And she said, Lana, why is it called an algorithm? It's such a mathematical word. And I explained because there is a certain way to draw Neurographic, and you do need to follow those guidelines. And those guidelines constitute the 8 steps of the algorithm. And that's how it works. That's what makes it very efficient. That's what makes it very effective. Neurographica, the method Neurographica, is one of the most effective way to deal with stress, to deal with trauma. I'm actually thinking tomorrow I might, I'm starting the basics course tomorrow. It's an actual training. I am thinking I will go live part of the session because I want to share with the world the best way, one of the best way to deal with trauma. There's so much anxiety going on now with the war in many parts of the world. I would like to share this instrument to deal with anxiety, to deal with stress, to deal with trauma. Welcome to join me. Welcome to draw with me. Welcome to actually in practice, see how the Neurographica method works. And specifically, it's not such an open content so far, but I will make it open because I understand that this will be very valuable and very useful for people to use. Give me a second. Let me just check something. Yes, okay. Thank you. So, give me a second, let me just check something. Okay. So that's the 8 steps of the algorithm, the actual guidelines, the actual steps on how to draw Neurographica from beginning to the end. Now, there is a concept called the 10 principles of Neurographica. The 10 principles actually explain, I made a video that I explained, the 10 principles are like the 10 commandments of how the universe works, okay? The 10 principles explains why Neurographica works. It explains the basic ideas, the basic concepts, the basic, I would say, the first 5 of the 10 principles explain the basic kind of understanding, the basic philosophical and psychological way how the Neurographica method works, okay? They're very general. They're not practical. They're more like philosophical understanding. The last 5 of the principles explain on a graphical level, right? On a more of a drawing type of understanding how and why Neurographica works. So the 10 principles are more of a philosophical approach to the method of Neurographica. The 8 steps of the algorithm are more practical, in-depth understanding of how and why the Neurographica method works, what we need to do, how to draw it in an appropriate sequence. Okay, that's understanding. Today, I would like to tell you about the Neurographica method, that it's an actual language. It's a language that may look simple enough, right? Some people will call it, the appropriate way to call it would be abstract art. But if we look at it, one of my friends, I remember when I just started practicing, and I would show everybody all my drawings and explain the method. And I asked my friend, I said, what does it look like to you? And I showed her a drawing of the neurographic, and she said, it looks like children's doodling, you know, the lines and everything. And I said, that's an interesting way. And that's exactly what it is. To our subconscious, it may look to us, it may look very simple. All you do is draw lines and add some shapes, but that's what it is. To our subconscious, it's an understandable language. It's a language that our subconscious will use to get to the results, to get to the goal that we set for ourselves in the beginning. If you remember from the 8 steps of the algorithm, step 1 is always setting the goal. What would you like to draw about? What would you like to figure out? Why are you here? What are you trying to achieve? And that's how it works. Today, I would like to show you the Neurographica alphabet. Okay, I'm going to transfer my camera. For those of you on Instagram, I'm just going to turn my phone I guess upside down like this. Hopefully you will be able to see it. Yeah, I think you can see my drawing. Okay, to those of you on Facebook, I will actually be changing my camera on Zoom. There you go. You can see my drawing. Okay, let's discuss the concept of the Neurographica alphabet, right? If we are talking about the Neurographica as a language, that means that Neurographica has an alphabet, right? Because every language, after all, has an alphabet. Every language has symbols that decipher, that explain, that bring meaning to those around them, to those who use that language, right? Those of us who speak English, we understand the meaning of the letters A, B, C, right? Think about the way kids learn it. For children who just learn it, it is not an understandable symbol right away. They actually need to learn it. They need to learn how to understand how language works, how letters work. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. Lucia, welcome, dear. Oh, I just realized. Okay. I'm going to have to disconnect you because I want to make sure that I can be seen live. Welcome, Lucia.
Hello.
I see. Wait a minute, second. How do I turn it off? Lucia, can you disconnect? Yeah. I have to disconnect because I'm trying to go. Yeah, I want to make sure people will see me. And then you can always share it from my. I don't know why you send me a request and I'm also being new to Instagram.
I just asked to participate, but I didn't know I was going to be alive.
So just disconnect at this point. See if you can turn it off. Bye, dear. And then connect again if you want to watch me, dear. Okay. That's how it works, right? You learn with practice. Okay. I want to make sure you guys see my video. No, the opposite. Okay. Okay. I think it's fine. Yeah. Like this is good. Okay. Yeah, I want to make sure you see me straight. Okay. Sorry for those of you on Facebook and watching me on YouTube. Okay. So every language has an alphabet. Let's try to figure out what is included in the neurographic alphabet. Like I mentioned, when children, we are so used to the alphabet because our memory and our psyche, our mind is used to decipher the symbols of the letters, right? We understand that the world is represented in various symbols, right? When we cross the street, it may not say walk or don't walk, but we notice we actually used to, right? And now we know in many states it has changed. It used to say walk or don't walk, and then they change it to a symbol, the symbol of a person standing or the symbol of a person walking, right, with 2 feet. And that's the idea. The idea is that our mind, our subconscious mind, understands the language of symbols. Okay, this idea, this term was coined by a famous psychologist, Carl Gustav Jung. Jung is the first one who started talking about symbolism. He's the one who brought a lot of interest in symbolism. He's the one who started talking about the circle as a symbol. He started bringing the idea of mandala, the circle as a sacred circle, as a sacred symbol to our subconscious. And we will discuss that today. And that's the idea. The idea is that our subconscious understands symbols more than actual words. Okay, actual words, we take a word and our mind needs time to process the word in order to give the best possible explanation to what the world may mean to us, what the world may represent to you, what the world, whatever word it is, let's say the word alphabet, right? What it can mean to you, the way to decipher it. And of course, it will go on a certain level of our subconscious to figure out, is it a safe word? Is that something our mind wants to accept or not? This will make a big difference. The way I'm going to present to you the idea, many ideas I will be presenting to you tomorrow. I'm hoping to making a live session. I'm going to try tomorrow or Thursday. I will make a live session where I will, maybe Thursday, I will do the live session where I will draw an actual trauma reducing, stress reducing, anxiety reducing neurographic drawing. Okay. Tomorrow, maybe I'll go to talk to you about the reflection process. So look what happens. Okay, the way I will present to you the idea is called the meta-modern quadrant. This idea was actually also coined by Pavel Piskaryov. Pavel Piskaryov is the author of the neurographic method. He's the person who invented the method. He's the person who popularized the method. He's the person who makes sure that the method is used in the best possible way, which means people who are instructors are certified to teach the method and explain it in the best possible way, in the most appropriate way, are the ones to bring it to people, okay? Okay, next. And the idea, it's called meta-modern quadrant. The idea is meta-modern as a philosophy, okay? I understand that my square is probably a bit crooked. It's fine. We are not here about perfectionism. We're here about, again, symbolism. The idea of the square, the idea that the square represents something, okay? The idea that this is called meta-modern quadrant. Quadrant means you take any idea, any philosophical, any psychological, anything, any term can be explained by breaking it down into 4 parts. The 4 parts are sequential, okay? And the way they go are the clockwise, but instead of starting here, we always start here, okay? So this is always part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4, okay? I have an actual video where I explain in details what meta-modern quadrants are. You can watch it. It's called meta-modern quadrants. I'm sure you'll find it. Now, today we're going to focus on the alphabet. Let's talk about the neurographic alphabet. The very first symbol in the neurographic alphabet. Okay, so neurographic alphabet consists of, here, I'm going to give you already, write it down, shapes and lines, okay? This is, by the way, a very unique way. It's called neuronote taking. I was thinking of preparing an actual presentation where I will show to you what's going on, what is what. But I figured the best way to show it to you would be to actually practice neuronoting, okay? Actually drawing with your fingers gives you the tactile sensation necessary to fully integrate the idea, the concept you hear into your mindset, okay? So you're welcome to draw with me. You're welcome to take a piece of paper. You can just watch me draw. We're not doing a full neurographic drawing today. I'm just explaining the concepts, or you can follow through, and this idea, the ideas within here will integrate much better. Okay, so let's talk about the concept of the circle. The circle is an archetype, okay? Any symbol we take can be an archetype, okay? Right now, we're going to talk about the simple shapes. The shapes are the most simple shape, the shape that we actually teach to the children, okay? The very first shape we always deal with, the very first shape we deal on the very first level is the circle. Why? The circle is an archetype, okay? We'll talk about archetypes, okay? Archetypes means a symbol that represents many different ideas within our psyche, within our mind, within our emotions. It represents many ideas, many symbols within our memory, within our ancestral memory. It means not just something that I understand now in this lifetime, but also the idea that my ancestors related to the same concept, related to the same shape, with the same idea. So the circle always represents care, comfort, love, motherly love, okay? Motherly love, feminine energy, okay? It represents nurture. The circle being without a start and without a finish represents something that's unlimited, right? Unlimited support. And over here, you can use the concept you're comfortable with. Some people will say the circle represents the direct care of God, right? Those of you, for some of you, this may represent more of a universe concept, okay? Different people are comfortable with different terms, and we're here to respect all opinions and all comfort levels, okay? The circle represents something that brings comfort on the most basic level. The circle represents the fruits that are growing on the tree. Think about it. All fruits are mostly circular, okay? The circle, if we talk about anthropologically speaking, the circle refers to the time that if we follow the story, the biblical, so to say, recounting, right? If we go different people, again, if you just look at it from the anthropological point of view, not necessarily historical per se, right? Some people may have issues with that, but the idea is that when Adam and Eve were expelled from the Garden of Eden, right? Thinking about it metaphorically speaking, the idea is that when they were expelled, the first thing they saw, they were very scared. So they were looking for some signs, some symbols of comfort. They didn't know how to live. They were taken care of before in the garden, and now they're expelled. They don't know what to do. How will they feed themselves? Where would they stay? Where would they live, right? And the idea was that they looked around and they saw trees with fruits growing. Fruits were of circular shape, okay? They looked around, and at first they were scared because they noticed it started to get dark. There's a commentary that says when it started to get dark, Adam actually thought that he was going to die. But then the next day, the sun came up, and Adam got this amazing happiness within him. That means, I am alive. I can see the light. So the circle, the sun, which is also the circular shape, represents hope, right? And again, everything else we mentioned: care, comfort, nurture, love, unlimited support. And that's what happens when we draw the circle. The circle is an archetype, a representation to our subconscious mind that, don't worry, I will take care of you. Don't worry, I will give you as much love and as much nurturing as you need. That's why I called it the motherly love and the feminine energy, okay? This idea of the mother who, what does the mother do? The mother takes care of her child. The mother gives whatever the child needs, provides whatever the needs of the child are. And that's the idea. And that's what the circle represents in our subconscious mind. When we draw the circle, we are looking for, and this is the idea that will bring the most within the Neurographica method, we're looking for harmony. We're looking to bring harmony to our lives, okay? The next level we have, the next shape we have, actually, by the way, just to let you know that if we bring the human lifespan, right, human life cycles development, this life cycle represents a child, okay? This is a most basic way a human being looks in life, okay? The basic thing the human being looks in life is the way the child behaves, the way the child looks in life, to be taken care of, to be given the items he or she wants, right? And to be nurtured, to be loved, to be accepted just the way you are. Okay, hope, and I'm going to write the word acceptance here. Okay. The next shape within our quadrant, the next level of the shapes we have is a triangle. The triangle looks nothing like the circle, notice, right? The circle is smooth, the circle has no beginning and no end. It constantly goes round. It gives you unlimited support. Now, the triangle represents, notice what I did, I rounded all the edges on the triangle, all the corners in the triangle. Because the triangle represents exactly that, the corners, the edginess, the sharpness. Sharpness, okay? The triangle represents growth. Okay, that's actually the main idea about the triangle that we use in Neurographica, growth. Okay, when you're looking for growth, that's when people draw triangles. The triangle represents, what does a triangle look like? Think about it. Symbol-wise, right? It looks like a mountain. What do we do with the mountain? We conquer the mountains. The triangle represents conquering. The triangle represents a masculine energy. Conquering something, getting something, achieving something, topping something, getting to the top of the mountain, right? It's not easy, right? You need to go to the top of the mountain. It's not easy. It takes a lot of efforts. It takes a lot of energy. Takes a lot of perseverance, right? You need to do a lot. And then we know that those of you who ever went hiking, you know that it takes a lot of energy to go up the mountain, but then it takes just as much energy to go down. You need to know how to go down the mountain the appropriate way as well. So it's energy to go up and to go down. On a philosophical, spiritual level, a lot of times when people go up the mountain, they have a hard time coming down. A lot of time when people reach spiritual upheaval, they have a hard time wanting to go down, wanting to get rounded, right? Going up the mountain, meaning also to see something from the bird's view, right? From a plane view, some people say, right? To see something from the top, to view from the top. The view from the top is always different than the view from the bottom, right? From the bottom, we see things as we look around side to side. When you go up the mountain, you see things from the top. You have a different view. It's more strategical, right? You can plan better. You can understand where you are now and where you need to go. When you're on top, you see your goal much clearer than when you're on the bottom, right? But it's important to learn how to get down from the mountain, how to ascend from the mountain. Descend from the mountain. Ascend is going up. How to descend from the mountain in order to reach your goal, because the goal is always on the bottom, on the earth, okay? And that's the idea. The mountain is lots of energy resources. The mountain represents energy resources, okay? The mountain also represents, if we're talking about human life cycles, the mountain represents a teenager. Think about how teenagers are. Teenagers are also very what? Emotional, right? If we talk about the vectors in human life, right? The circle represents the development of the body, the human body. The triangle represents the development of the emotions. The emotional body gets developed. Understanding how emotions work, what to do with them. Think about what teenagers are like. They're very emotional, right? They're navigating the world. They're navigating how to develop their emotional world. And that's the idea. If we go further, another way to understand, again, anthropologically speaking, the circle represents nature, right? Remember we mentioned God in the universe, and that represents nature. So whatever we're given in nature, remember how I mentioned that the circle represents the fruits that grow on the tree that the human being can take and eat, right? There's no need to do anything for it, right? The fruits just grow on the tree. We're not talking about agriculture and cultivating. We're talking about anthropologically speaking. In general, that happens, right? We know a lot of fruits that grow in the wild, people just go and they eat them, right? They're being taken care of. When we talk about the triangle symbol, the triangle symbol represents man-made tools. This is a very primal way of acting in life, right? You just take everything is given to you and you just take it, you enjoy it. There's no responsibility. There's just being grateful, right? Just like a child is. But start thinking about what's happening at this level. At this level, the human being starts gaining and accepting responsibility upon themselves as they start understanding that they want to improve. They don't want to just live in the world. They don't want to just have whatever fruits is being given to them. They want to create something of their own. So they take nature and they say, you know what? I want to create something of my own. I want to contribute to the world. And that represents man-made, something that man-made tools, man-made ideas, contribution, growing, learning to understand that the world is not just about me taking, but the world is also about me giving. Okay, here this represents, you see, we need more space, right? Taking, I should take a bigger paper. And this represents giving, learning to give. Okay, learning to understand that the world is not just for me, but I'm also learning to contribute, to live with the world around me. And that brings us to the third shape. The third shape, right? I can ask you a riddle here. How many squares do we have here now, right? And you can count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So, all those riddles that they give you when people ask, the people answer 9, 10, 11. That's what it is, right? We have another square here. We have a lot of squares. And this represents relationship, right? Isn't that the main word of being an? I'm going to show it to you here, an adult. This represents adulthood, okay? The main idea in the square, by the way, yes, we also have edges here, but it's not as sharp. It's not as peaky as a triangle. The square represents stability. The square represents, what does it look like, guys? It looks like a house, right? Put a triangle on top, it will be a house. The square represents house, shelter, living, right? What do we do as adults? We live, we create life, we contribute to life. Adults are about relationship. Relationship is about, remember, if this is about taking, this is about giving. Adults are about balance. How do you balance between give and take? Sometimes you give, sometimes you take. You need to learn how to balance. Adults are about understanding that life is about, if we hear teenagers, right? And we know teenagers, as they just find out about the world, they sometimes get emotional. They don't always understand, right? If children are about the world being black and white, either good or bad, right? Mommy's good, mommy's bad. Teenagers are about growing up and seeing that the world is not an idealistic place. The world has a lot of issues. There are a lot of problems, there are a lot of issues in the world. And as they grow, they start understanding that they need to be contributors. They need to start understanding they need to be contributing to the world, and they choose. They want to contribute to the world to be a better place. Sometimes they do the opposite, right? So that happens. Well, adults are about making mature choices, right? Mature choices. Okay. Again, everything I'm telling you is the way we understand subconsciously. I'm deciphering you the symbolism here, right? Giving you a psychological, philosophical understanding, anthropological, physical also, right? Adults are about actual, like I mentioned, relationship, building relationships, understanding if it's good for them. If they're not good for them, what do? They break relationships. If they're good with them, what do? They strengthen relationship, right? They stabilize the relationship. They make what do? They built a house, right? And that symbolizes what? Building a relationship, building a family, right? Adults have children, right? Adults procreate, they go further. They start emulating. They start saying that I want to be a creator. Another way to understand the square would be take nature-made materials. You take wood, take man-made tools. You take an axe, you take, I don't know, all those tools. I don't know, a hammer, and you build a house. What's the purpose of a house? Think about it. We can all just live, you know, if you think about it from the point of view of Maslow's pyramid, right? We all have basic needs. One of the basic needs, in addition to eating, right, sleeping, breathing, clothing oneself, one needs to have a shelter. But if we think about it, if we just need a shelter, we can just all live in a cave, right? Why can't we just live in a cave like the way our forefathers did, right? Anthropologically speaking. Well, the idea of a man is that the man always looks to improve their quality of life, okay? It's about quality of life. They don't want to just live. They want to live good. They don't want to just eat. They want to eat good food. And that's what happens. They take man-made material, man-made tools, use nature material, and build a house. They built a place to live, not as a shelter, but an actual place to live, something they will be comfortable, something they will enjoy. They will put the furniture they enjoy looking at, right? They will put beautiful art or whatever pictures, photographs they put on the wall. They find things that are pleasant for them to see. And that's the idea of the square. That's the symbol of the square. Stability, maturity, balance, living. Living means choosing life, okay? Choosing life. When we were kids, everything, the choices were made for us. When we're teenagers, we strive to make our own choices, but the choices are still made for us, right? Our parents tell us what time to go, what time to come back, right? And we say, no, I'm not coming back at 10. I want to come back. I want my curfew to be at 11. The parent's like, no, your curfew will be at 10. And you go back and forth between figuring out your individuality, your independence, not having to rely on, not having to depend upon your parents like it happens here. But over here, you're an adult. You live on your own. You pay rent. You make money. You earn money, right? We talked about it the other day when we draw the neuro tree of financial success. Money is an adult way of living, okay? And we choose life. We choose how we live our life. What do we do in our life, okay? So now you're going to ask me, Lana, what is happening here? These are the three main shapes. Those of you who know how to draw neurographic, you know, these are the main three shapes. What's here? This square represents something, actually, let me write it here, we call wisdom. And over here, remember I told you about over here, we choose life, we make choices. Or over here, even though we're adults and we make choices, we're still limited. This is the word, the important word. We're still limited by various choices. We're still limited by ideas, by concepts, by views, certain values, certain way we see the world, a certain way we see life. We're still limited because if I'm thinking I ought to be living this way, I should be living in this town, I should be living this way, I should be buying this stuff. We're still kind of controlled in a way. We don't see it much, okay? Because supposedly we're adults. We're kind of controlled here. We have something we call limitations, okay? This is a main word. This is the main word in the basics course. In the basics course, we learn how to remove limitations. And on Thursday, yes, I'm going to do it on Thursday, actually, for sure. I will go live and I will draw with you an algorithm for removing limitations. One of the best ways to remove stress, anxiety, trauma, okay? Remove limitations. And that's what happens. But over here, we have wisdom. Over here, we'll reach the stage of no limitations. We start understanding that certain limitations are physical But yet, moreover, most limitations are inner limitations, okay? And we achieve the state of wisdom. Some people call it the state of consciousness, right? A certain level of consciousness where people achieve certain consciousness that would be on the level of subconscious, right? Some people reach some certain insight, right? We get insights that tell us that the way we live are limited by our inner views of life, and we start changing that. We reach spiritual understanding, spiritual kind of heights, right? And by the way, if over here we had a body, over here we had emotional development, over here we have mental development, right? The most development within our mind, within the way we view, within the way we function, mentally wise. Over here, we reach spiritual heights. This is where we start understanding that all of the limitations are not on the outside, they're actually within us. All of the limitations are the ones we create for ourselves. If I tell myself I don't want to be rich for whatever reason, maybe because rich people are crooks, right? Maybe because being rich means I have to pay more taxes. Maybe being rich means somebody might take away my money. Somebody might rob me, right? A lot of, I have a list of 100 limiting beliefs about money. If anybody's interested, you're welcome to post it to me, send it to, write to me, and I will send it to you. It's open. I remember even doing a session about it last year. That's what it is. It's an understanding that we choose what we want to believe in, choose belief, and as a result, it will change our life, change life, okay? Bring changes, life-altering changes. And over here, if we draw, it's not going to be a specific shape, but you know what it will be? It will be a neural line. A neural line, think about it. It starts in one area and it ends in another area, right? It takes us to where we do not expect it to see. Look, neural line goes from one area, from one direction to another. It goes all over. And this is about this. It's about choosing. Where do you choose to go? It's about figuring out that, you know what, I am not happy the way my life is turning out. I want to change the direction. It's about figuring out that, you know what, I actually do like the way my life is going, but I want to bring improvements to my life, and choosing and integrating those improvements, right? It's about figuring out, how do I change the course? How do I change the direction? It's about understanding that maybe I need something more in life than the settings, than the goals that I set for myself originally when I was younger, right? Maybe I need to do something different then, and notice the directions of the lines. Maybe I need to do something different than what my parents taught me, because you know what? Life changes. Times are not the same as when my parents were. When I was a child, right? Parent taught me do this and do that, but now I need to learn how to function, how to remove certain ideas that my parents thought that was okay for them because they lived in a different time, right? But I live in a different time. I understand more about how humanity is. I understand more about the concept of care, the concept of comfort, the concept of being kind of responsible, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you, right? And it's about choosing to change, right? Change is about triangle. Triangle is about changing. Triangle is saying, I want to do something different. Triangle is about, think what teenagers are like, they rebel. They want to change the way the life looks to them. They want to change the settings of life. And that's what triangle represents, change, right? Triangles represent revolutionaries. Triangles represent changing the settings in life that doesn't work anymore. And it's about understanding that in certain areas, you choose to act like an adult. You do certain things, even if you don't want to. Yes, you go to work even when you don't want to, right? Because you need to work, you need to earn money, you need to pay for rent, you take care of your family, right? If you have children, or if you don't have children, right? You need to buy yourself food. You need to take care of yourself, basically. And if you have others that depend on you, like I said, like kids, then you need to take care of them, right? And that means both materialistic taking care of and emotional, physical, mental, right? Giving care, giving nurturing, right? And that's what we say. We say when our parents were younger, they had different settings in life. They had different goals. They needed to survive. We have different goals. We're not just surviving. We're creating a better world for our children. And that's what the lines represent, going in different direction, choosing. Do you want to act like a child? Do you want to start something new? Do you want to receive something from the world and you act like a child? When you want to give to the world, you act like a teenager. When you want to learn how to give, how to take, how to balance itself, right? Then you act like a square, you act like an adult. And that's what it's all about. It's reaching wisdom. And this is what the alphabet of Neurographica represent. This is the language we draw. Whenever we draw in Neurographica drawings, that's what we do. We draw a series of circles or different types of shape, right? In this case, I have circles, lines, right? You can see this is a neurotree, right? Circles and lines. In this case, you see the spiral. Another spiral, right? Again, shapes and lines. That's all we do. Shapes and lines. Lots of shapes and lots of lines. And they represent, they give a certain message to our subconscious. They give a certain understanding of what is it that I want, what is it that I don't want, but mostly what I want. They give a message, they give a certain vision that we're trying to reach. Okay. And the rest I have are notes. Neuro notion, right? Do we understand the line? Okay. That's what it is, right? Shapes and lines. And that's how Neurographica works. Understanding shapes and lines, understanding that the world works on a certain subconscious level. We have basic shapes and basic lines to talk to our subconscious, and we'll give a certain message to our subconscious. We'll give a message that we're seeking support in certain areas, in certain goals. And when we draw a certain shape, what are we looking for? The message we're asking for is, can I get care, comfort, love, is when we draw the circle. Can I get extra energy because I'm looking to grow? I'm seeking resources to grow. Can I get resources to learn how to balance my life, to learn how to become an adult, give and take, stability? And sometimes when you start your drawing with lines, it's about figuring out who am I, what am I, and where am I going? It's about somewhat diagnostics first, right? Figuring out who am I and how do I get to where I want to be, okay? And it's the end of today's session, and we talk about Neurographica as a language and Neurographica, the alphabet. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Let me fix my camera on Zoom as well. Thank you for joining me. I enjoyed talking to you about this today. Give me a second. Let me see what's going on here. Nope. Okay, there you go. Okay. There I am. Okay. So thank you for joining me today as we talked about neurographic as a language, as we talked about, thank you. Thank you, last status. Thank you. Yes, I try to spread the word about neurographic. I enjoy, this is an area that I truly enjoy teaching and giving to others. Thank you. Thank you for watching me. And welcome to join me. If you would like to learn more about the Neurographica method, if you would like to learn this in depth, if you want to get more practice, how to draw Neurographica, what to do with it, how do you use Neurographica to improve your quality of life, welcome to join me for the basics course. Give me a second. If you want to learn more about Neurographica, welcome to watch other videos I have. Oh, thank you. There you go. Yeah, I was about to say, you're welcome to watch all my videos on YouTube. I'm glad you're enjoying. I'm glad it's bringing lots of important transformational energy to you. Enjoy. And thank you for joining for that Neurographic alphabet. If you want to learn more about the 8 steps, watch the video I made 2 days ago, actually last week, but it's 2 videos back in my YouTube channel. And welcome to join for the basics course. PM me, write to me, join the basics course. It's the best. Investment you will make. Yes, I was back in Brooklyn. Yes. Oh, that's so nice. Yes, that's yeah. Now I'm in Orlando, Florida. Absolutely. Oh, that's so nice. You followed me from back then, back when I wasn't that active, when I made the very first Neurographica video on YouTube. Thank you. Awesome. I'm so glad to hear from somebody who followed me. I'm glad. Write to me if you guys have any questions about the Neurographica method. Welcome to write. Welcome to let me know. I will be happy to make videos on that question, on that topic. Okay. I'm glad. Excellent. Enjoy learning with my videos. Enjoy drawing with my videos. I have a lot of open drawing videos, so welcome to do that. Okay. I am going to look forward to drawing with you on Thursday. Tomorrow I will go live. I want to talk to you about the reflection process, what the reflection process is, why it's important, why it's an integral part of the Neurographica method. Thursday, I'm going to come and draw with you. Write to email. You can write to email. You can write to me in direct over here on Instagram. Instagram, you can message me. Facebook, you can messenger me. Email, if you want my email is lanashal76@gmail.com. LANASHAL@gmail.com. Okay. Yes, you can contact me. I'm in all social platforms, so absolutely. Yeah, if you have any questions, guys, you're welcome to ask me. Let me know if you guys, what else would you like to know about the Neurographica method? What other topics would you like to explore? Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening, day, afternoon. Maybe for some people it's nighttime.